Okay, good morning dear cadets. So as you are aware that I have already completed the chapter number 2 including its NCERT exercise and some of the in-test question also I have discussed. So now chapter number 3rd, the name of chapter number 3rd is metals and non-metals. Okay. So just see metals and non-metals syllabus I have already posted in your respective section WhatsApp group. So it is a small chapter and I will try hard to complete within a week, but the duration of video may be 40 or little bit plus. Okay, so please cooperate with me and I will upload this one in my normal YouTube channel. You can watch it. So let us begin with the classification of elements. Classification of elements. So in 9th class you studied that elements are those substances which are made up of one kind of atoms. Okay, just see, suppose H2. So this is made up of H plus H. So both atom is similar. That is why hydrogen is element. Meaning of element is which is made up of one kind of atoms. Okay, means H2 means H and both atoms are similar. N2 means what is there? Nitrogen plus nitrogen and both atoms are similar. Now N2 molecules is made up of two nitrogen atoms which are similar in all respects. P4 now P and P. Four phosphorus atoms are there and they are similar. So these are called elements. Okay. So classification of elements as far as concerned, elements can be classified into three categories: metals, non-metals and metallites. Okay, what are metals, what are non-metals, what are metallites? Now introductory part you have studied in the 9th class. Now this year you will study their detailed study. So let us see some introductory remarks. About 118 elements are known today. There are more than 90 metals, 22 non-metals and a few metallites. Okay. So elements are classified into three categories: metals, non-metals and metallites. So just see, near about 118 elements are discovered so far. Okay. Some are found in the nature, means some are natural, some are artificial synthesized. Okay. So now in this unit you will study the detailed study of properties of metals, non-metals and metallites. Out of 118, near about 90 are metals and 22 are non-metals and a few metallites are also there. So metallites means what? They exhibit the property in between metals and non-metals. They exhibit the property between metals and non-metal. Examples of metal. So what are the examples of metal? Sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, copper, iron, etc. These are metals. Now how can we say that sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, they are metals? So when I will teach you the property, then you will come to know. Examples are non-metals. So oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, hydrogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine. These are non-metals. How can we say that these are non-metal? Now we'll elaborate. Now examples are metallites: silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium. These are metallites because they exhibit the property of metals as well as non-metals. Okay. Now just see, little bit we should know the importance of metals and non-metals. So I have written here in very brief. What are the importance of metal? Metals are used in the preparation of utensils. Okay. So many utensils we are using our daily life or not? They are made up of metals only. Pressure cooker. Okay. It is made up of metals only. Of course, it is not made up of individual metal, but it is made up of metals only. Okay. So, in the preparation of utensil, in manufacture of utensil, the metals are used. Construction of building and bridges. Now just see, nowadays what is there? rotating buildings are there, bridges are there. Now they are made up of metals only. Next one is making coins. Just see, 100 rupees coins, 20 rupees coins, 10 rupees coin, 1 rupees, 5 rupees, 2 rupees coins are available or not? They are also made up of metals only. Now just see, there are some important things. Titanium, zirconium, chromium, manganese. These are called strategic metal. Okay, what are they? They are called strategic metal. So what is the meaning of strategic metal? Actually they are used in the defense field. Means they are used in the strategic field of country. They fulfill the strategic need of country. That is why they are called strategic metal. Titanium, zirconium, chromium and manganese. So just see, what are the strategic field of country? Just see, defense. Then what is there? Atomic Energy Commission. Then aeroplane, aviation sector. Of course, these metals, they have got some property. Because of that only they are being used in these fields. So please remember these strategic metals. So these are the some of the importance of metals. Many more importance are there. If we will keep discussing, that one period is required to discuss their importance. Like just see, sodium and potassium, they are also metal and they are important parts of our blood. Sodium potassium pump, have you heard or not? These are parts of minerals, and you know the importance of mineral in our body. Now importance of non-metal. What are the importance of non-metals? Just see, carbon. Just see, in our body what is there? What is the meaning of living things? Living thing is made up of non-living things. Okay, non-living elements. Okay, so try to understand. I am living being. You are also living being. Plants are also living being. But they are made up of non-living things like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. Okay, like just see, protein. In protein what is there? Nitrogen is there, carbon is there, hydrogen is there. So carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, they are non-living things. But protein constitute our body. So just see, we are made up of lifeless molecules. We are made up of lifeless molecules. In those lifeless molecules, these elements are there. Carbon is the important ingredients of carbohydrate, vitamins, proteins, minerals, everywhere. They are there. Hydrogen is used as a fuel, correct or not? Moreover to this, it is important ingredients of this one. Carbon is there, but along with the carbon, what is there? Hydrogen is also there. In carbohydrate, in protein, in vitamins, in fats, everywhere hydrogen is there. Nitrogen is basically used in the fertilizers. Okay, moreover to this, nitrogen is important elements in our protein. Okay, protein is made up of amino acid. In amino acid, what is there? Nitrogen is there. Next one is sulfur. Sulfur is found in the protein in our hair. Okay, oxygen. You know, oxygen is the life-saving gas. Without oxygen, we can't survive even 1 minute, 2 minutes. Okay, so these non-metals are also playing very important role in our daily life. So this is a little bit discussion of introductory part of metals and non-metals. Now we'll study the definition of metals and their physical properties. Okay. Okay, so just see metals. Now definition. So we can define the metal on the basis of two property. One on the basis of physical property and another one on the basis of chemical property. Okay. So according to physical property, what are metals? And according to chemical property, what are metals? Chemical property. Okay. Chemical property. Just see. According to physical property, metals are those elements which are lustrous, ductile, malleable, sonorous and good conductor of heat and electricity. Okay. So what are the metals? Metals are those elements which are lustrous, ductile, malleable, sonorous and good conductor of heat and electricity. This is according to physical property. And according according to chemical property, what are the metals? Metals are those elements which lose electron and form positive one, that is called cation. Hence they are electropositive. So metals are electropositive elements. Why they are called electropositive elements? Because during the course of chemical reaction they lose electron. Let us see sodium. Last year you might have studied about the Borbori scheme of electron distribution. So the atomic number of sodium is 11. Okay, and what is the electronic configuration? 2, 8, 1. So the elements which have got 1, 2, 3 electron in their outermost shell, they lose electron. Okay, and form positive one or cation. Okay, am I correct or not? And elements which have got 5, 6, 7 electron in their outermost shell, they gain electron. Okay, so sodium, just see, 1 electron is there in its outermost shell. It will lose 1 electron and it will form sodium positive ion. It is losing 1 electron. That is why sodium is the electropositive metal. So since they lose electron, that is why they are called electropositive elements. Now physical property of metals. What are the physical properties of metals? Just see. Metals are lustrous. Metals are lustrous. Okay. Just see. What the meaning of luster? Having shiny surface. They are called luster. That is called luster. Okay. So all the metals you can see. Let it be sodium, potassium, calcium, copper, aluminium, silver, gold, whatever metals are there, all are having shiny surface. And the shiny surface of gold, silver is, you know, that because of that shiny surface only they are being used for making the ornaments, and they are very costly metals. Now you can do one experimental verification also. Just collect some metal like iron, copper, aluminium, zinc, okay, and now with the help of sandpaper just rub their surface. So once their layer comes out, outer layer comes out, you will get the shiny surface. Why we are rubbing with the sandpaper? Because being old metal, they react with atmospheric oxygen, carbon dioxide and moisture, and they form one layer on their surface. So once these layers are there on their surface, you will not get the shiny surface. But once these layers are removed, you will get the shiny surface. This is the only reason, that is why metals have got the shiny surface. Okay, and always remember, metals which are highly reactive, their outer surface will tarnish very soon, because they will react with the atmospheric oxygen, carbon dioxide and moisture, and they will form layer. Okay, but metals which are less reactive like gold, silver, platinum, these are less reactive metal. They react with atmospheric oxygen, carbon dioxide and moisture, but very slow. That is why their luster can be prolonged with long time. Okay, so this is experimental verification. So the first physical property is metals are lustrous because they are having shiny surface. What is the next one? Metals are generally hard. Metals are generally hard. You know, many metals, they are very hard. They cannot be cut with the knife. Just see, copper wire, aluminium wire, okay, iron cannot be cut with the knife. They are hard metal. What are they? They are hard metal. But try to understand, there are some metals, sodium, potassium and lithium. Sodium, potassium and lithium. They are very soft metal, and they are soft metal and can be cut with the knife or from knife. Okay, just try to understand. Now I wrote here two sets of metal. One set of metal is sodium, potassium and lithium. Another set of metal is this one. Now some metals are soft, some metals are hard. Generally metals are hard, but some exceptions are there. These are the three metals which are very soft. So just see which factor contribute towards their hardness. Size. If their size is small, they will be very hard. If their size is large, they will be soft. So just see, sodium, potassium, lithium, their size is large, hence they are soft. But iron, copper, aluminium, their size is small, hence they are hot. Okay, so size is contributing a lot. Now you will ask, sir, how the size is responsible? Just try to understand. If you see any metal is made up of atoms, if you see the atoms, so if their size is large, so there is a distance between nucleus and outermost cell. So what would be there? Their size would be large, and the moment you cut or hammer, they will be flattened. Okay, but if their size is compact, small, so the size will be compact and they cannot be broken. Okay, or they cannot be cut. So this is two physical property. Rest other property also I will teach one by one. Okay, so now another property, another physical property of metal. Metals are malleable. What is the meaning of malleable? They can be hammered into thin sheet. This property is called malleability. So what is the malleability? Property of metal to be hammered into thin sheet. That is called malleability. So metals are malleable. Now experimental verification also you can see. Just see. Collect some metals like iron, aluminium, copper. It is better to collect the copper and aluminium and keep on iron metal. Means one iron mold should be there. There you just keep this copper or aluminium and hammer 4-5 times. What you will see that their sheet will be made. Okay, because they can be hammered into thin sheet. This property is only called the malleability. Another property is ductility. Our metals are ductile. So what is the ductility? Ductility is also the property of metal by which they can be drawn into thin wires. So they can be drawn into thin wire. Then just write wire. W-I-R-E, wire. So this property is called ductility. Okay. So metals are ductile. Okay. So just see, malleability and ductility has played very important role in humans' daily life. Just see. You might have seen the sweet. There, that one silver color foil is covered. Sweets are covered with the silver color foil. They are covered with the silver color foil or not? They are made up of aluminium or silver. Okay. Now what is this one? Malleability is only used. Now you might have seen the thin sheet of aluminium. You might have seen the thin sheet of tin. Why? Because of their malleability. They can be hammered into thin sheets. Ductility is also playing very important role in our daily life. You might have seen the wires of iron, wires of copper, wires of aluminium. Now electricity supplied through aluminium wire or copper wires only. Why? Because they can be drawn into thin wire. Okay. Another property of metals are good conductor of heat. Just see. Let us do one experiment. This is iron clamp, iron stand, and with the stand, just see. Take here one metal wire. What is this one? This is metal wire. Metal wire, you may take aluminium, you may take copper, you may take silver. Generally we are not taking silver, gold, platinum wire because they are very costly metal. So what we are taking? Either we are taking aluminium, copper or some other metal. But silver, gold wire we are not taking because they are very, very costly metals. So this is metal wire, and now just fix here some wax. And with the help of these wax, just fix here some pin. So just see, this is wax, and with that wax, some pins are here fixed. Okay. Now one end of this wire, just put the burning lamp. So after some time, what you will observe? You will observe that one end only you are heating. But this wax will be melt and pin will be fallen down. Why? Because you are heating this end, and since this wire is a good conductor of heat, so it will pass heat this direction, and this area also become heat, and will be fallen down, and along with the bags will be melted and pin will be fallen down. Okay, why? You have not heated this side, you are heating this side only, but since this wire was good conductor of heat, that is why heat passes from this end to this end. Correct or not? Okay, so this is called conduction of heat. So heat will be conducted from this end to this end because wire is a good conductor of heat. So this is experimental verification. Okay, and just see, there is one more property of metal. Metal possesses high melting point. MP means melting point. Melting point. Okay, temperature at which any metal get melted, that is called melting point. So just see, lithium, sodium, potassium, cesium and gallium. Lithium, sodium, potassium, cesium and gallium. Okay, these metals have low melting point. These metals have low melting point. Okay, so these are exceptions. Generally metals are they are good conductor of heat and electricity, they are having high melting point, but lithium, sodium, potassium, cesium and gallium, these are having low melting point. Cesium and gallium, cesium is used in the photovoltaic cells. Okay, photovoltaic cells. Gallium is used in experimental thermometer. Okay, laboratory thermometer. Okay, there are two types of thermometer, clinical and laboratory thermometer. So in clinical thermometer mercury is used, but in laboratory thermometer what is used? Gallium is used. And you keep cesium and gallium on your palm, within the fraction of second they will be melted because their melting point is very less. Okay, so lithium, sodium, potassium, cesium, gallium, their melting point is low. Silver is the best conductor, followed by copper and aluminium. Okay, so silver is the best conductor of heat. Okay, and now just see, utensils, generally cooking utensils, they are either made up of copper or aluminium. Of course silver is the best conductor, but silver is the costly metal. Can you make the pressure cooker with the help of silver? No. Now comparatively copper and aluminium, these are cheaper metal. So cooking utensils are basically made up of copper and aluminium because they are good conductor of electricity. As far as the poorest conductor is concerned, lead, Pb is the poorest conductor of heat. And one more thing is there, mercury is also poor conductor, but mercury conductivity is better than lead. Lead is the poorest conductor, and this property is also used. Most of the nuclear reactor is made up of lead only. Nuclear reactor is made up of lead metal only because this is the poorest conductor. It does not conduct the electricity from reactor to outside. Okay, so almost metal all property we are utilizing. Just see, this copper and aluminium, they are good conductors, so we are making the cooking utensil. Lead is the poorest conductor, so we are making the nuclear reactor, so that heat should not pass from that side to other place, otherwise the person who are working, they may die. Correct? So these are the some of the physical property. Now another physical property is also there. Metals are good conductor of electricity. Metals are sonorous. Will tell you all those things. Okay, so next property of metals are, means physical property, metals are good conductor of electricity. Okay, how you will verify that metals are good conductor of electricity? So just take this battery. Here what is there? These are the two clips, and this is metal wires. What is this one? Metals wire. Okay, now here bulb you should take. Okay, one bulb. Here switch is there, and these are the two keys, A and B. These two are the key. Okay, what are these? This is nothing but a key. Okay, or clips you can say. Better to say clip. Okay, and now just see. Take one piece of metal, any metal which you have selected, and keep in between these two A and B clip. Okay, the moment you put the clip here, if given or taken metal is a good conductor of electricity, so circuit will be completed and bulb will start glowing. So as many as metal you want, you can test this one. Just the piece of metal should be put in between these two clips. The moment circuit is get completed, right now circuit is not completed because nothing is there between clip A and B. The moment you put here one metal, if it is good conductor of electricity, bulb will glow. Okay, so now as many as metal if you want to collect, you can collect and do the same experiment. If bulb is glowing, it means metal is a good conductor of electricity. Now here I wrote the order. Silver is the best conductor, mercury is the poorest conductor. Poorest conductor. Best conductor is silver, poorest conductor is mercury, and in between this one copper, Au, aluminium, tungsten is given. Okay, Wb is the tungsten symbol. Its Latin name is wolfram. So silver, then copper, then Au, that is gold, then aluminium, then tungsten, then mercury. Now question arises here, on what basis I wrote this order? Okay, so just see, if you want to know the comparative electrical conductivity of metal, that means extent of flow of current in the circuit, extent of flow of current in the circuit, then replace the bulb with the ammeter. Now in ammeter what is their reading? This will show the reading. Okay, so just see, suppose I put here metal silver between the clip, so ammeter will show the reading, then copper, then aluminium, gold, whatever metal you will put here. So now ammeter will show the reading. On the basis of that reading, we have deduced this order that silver is the best conductor of electricity. Okay, have you got this one or not? Actually the flow of current is because of the flow of electron in the circuit. You know that metals, they are electron loser, they lose electron. Those electrons are only responsible for the conduction of electricity, while in case of metal, acid, base and salt, what I told you, acids and bases, they are good conductor of electricity because of free ions. Metals are good conductor of electricity because of free electrons, because these electrons are here conducting the electricity. So there are two types of conductor: metallic conductor, which conduct the electricity through free electrons. Next one is electrolytic conductor, which conduct the electricity through free electrons. So acids and bases have got free OH negative ion, acids have got free H positive ion. So H positive, OH negative are salts. Salts, they have got the free positive and negative ion. They are conducting electricity because of free ions. Metals, they are conducting electricity through free electrons. So if metals easily lose electron, and plenty of electron available to conduct the electricity, that would be the best conductor. So silver is the best conductor and mercury is the poorest conductor. Okay, so this is the one of the important physical property of metal. Next one is metals are sonorous. What is the meaning of sonorous? They produce ringing sound on striking hard surface. So just see, school bell is the best example. The moment they are hit hard by any object, they produce the ringing sound. That is called, this property is called sonority or sonorous. Okay, metals have high density. Okay, density, try to understand. Density means you can say heaviness, means in common language you can say. So metals, their density is very high. Why their density is very high? Because atoms are closely packed. That is why, just see, we are doing exercise so that our body become compact. The moment body become compact, we become heavy. So density is more or not? So metals have got high density because of the closely packed atomic structure. Exception is also there. Lithium, sodium, potassium, their density is low. Their density is, what is this one? Low density. So why their density is low? Because their atomic size is large. Just see, density equal to what? Density equal to mass by volume. Density equal to mass by volume. If volume is more, density will be less. Means density is directly proportional to mass, but density is inversely proportional to volume. It means more volume, less density. More mass, more density. Am I correct or not? So lithium, sodium, potassium, their size is large. Their size is large, hence their density is less. One more property they have got, metals have high tensile strength. What is the meaning of tensile strength? Load bearing capacity. Load bearing capacity before they break. So their load bearing capacity is very high. That is why tall bridges, ships, aeroplanes, tanks, they are made up of metals, because their tensile strength is more. Load bearing capacity is very high before they break. So metals have got the high tensile strength. All metals are solid. Just see, almost all metals are solid at room temperature, but except one metal. Except one metal. Which one is the metal? Mercury. Mercury is the liquid metal at room temperature. Mercury is the only metal which is liquid at room temperature. Two more metals are liquid, but slightly above the room temperature. That is cesium and gallium. Cs and gallium, they are also liquid, but slightly above the room temperature. Okay. Next one is, one more important thing is here. W is used in making bulb filament due to high resistance and high melting point. W means tungsten. Its Latin name is wolfram. Bulb filament is made up of tungsten because its resistance power is very high and its melting point is also very high. So in this way, all the physical property of metals I have completed. One more information is here. Just see, even though silver is the best conductor, but silver wires we are not making because it is very costly metal. Rather than we are preferring wires of copper, aluminium, tungsten because they are comparatively cheaper metal. How can we make the wire of gold and silver? Because of course silver is the best conductor of electricity, but being a costly metal we cannot make wires. Okay. So as far as the supply of electricity is concerned, we are relying on the copper wire or aluminium wire. So in this way, the physical property of metal is completely completed, and but tomorrow will teach you the physical property of non-metal. Okay, and we'll start the chemical property also. Okay, so I hope that you will watch the video and you will understand this one, because I have decided to complete all these things during vacation time only, so that you can have enough time to understand all these things. So please make the notes and just have a proper study. Thank you. With this hope and belief, I am winding up the class.